Hello everybody. I know it is 7:59 by my watch, so give a few seconds we'll have a minute for everybody to get rolling. So I know there's a few of you waiting anxiously for me to get started. I'm a little out of breath. I ran up the stairs. I didn't realize what time it was, and I was getting myself some water. Hi, Mommy. All right, so as you can see, I am still in the scrap room at home, and mostly because I have all, if not most of my stuff here at home versus at the scrapbook shop. Now, eventually, of course, we will be filming or recording, if you will. I'm dating myself, I know. Going back to the store. We'll be in the store again eventually. We will, I promise. And I'm hoping to do a few more of these lives I'm hoping to keep doing them actually, because we've got a website now and it's nice to be able to see what we have in the store, right? All right, so what I really wanted to show you guys was my setup. So over here, I'm going to turn the camera around now. So I'm going to point out a few things here. So this is my table. Here it all is. And one of the things that I want to point out for you is, so one thing, always have your water on hand, very important. So I've got some great lighting here, okay? This one here actually points right at my desk. And now I don't always have my laptop here. Sometimes this is where I have my iPad, or I'll have whatever sketch it is that I'm going off of. And then you can see up here, I've got some more great lighting. Now, believe it or not, this window is actually really annoying. When it's shining down on my desk at the wrong time of day, it is way too bright. But what I do want to point out to you guys is here. So see all these little dishes here? I'm currently working on my Mexico album, and these pages down here that I'm going to show you guys in a bit are a part of this ensemble. So I've got these 2 towers of washi tape and these 3 jars, and this one over here, cups they're actually filled with ephemera. So these are die cut labels, and then there's little bits and pieces of things in here. These are those packages that you can get, that I have one over here. So these things here. So these little packages of ephemera is what it's called. They're die cuts is what they are. And this one especially, there's a lot in there. Now they don't always come that many. But like this one here is, I think we've got one left at the store, is from Coco Vanilla. I did a live video. Hi Pam, thanks for joining us. I did a little while ago from Coco Vanilla, and these are called die cut titles. But all of these little ephemera bits and pieces, and I'll show you why I'm making a point. So I actually sorted all of these. And these guys here as well. So these 2, this one and the ones at the back, these actually came from the same ephemera pack. But I have these ones here because they're tags, so they're big and square, and these ones back here are nice and small. And there was more of these, but I used quite a few of it. This used to be full, believe it or not, but that's what happens when I'm almost done my album. Can you believe it? I am trying to get logged into my computer at the same time. So this, to further go with my setup, is my basic kit. Okay, my washi tape towers. This is the powder that we'll be using to de-stickify the stickers. And this one here is all my wooden embellishments. So it's my wood, it's metal, it's all those fun things that are a lot heavier that are going to require a different kind of adhesive. And then over here I've got These are, it's almost like the Project Life tags. I mean, that's my envelope of memorabilia, if you will, but excuse me. Oops. There we go. And then these are all my pictures. So that one's still full. And then this one is a day trip that we did. And then these are all of my ephemera, my stickers. I've never used so much of a sticker pack. It's been fantastic. And then I have been collecting these stickers to do this album. Well, we took the trip in 2017, so 3 years now. Okay. So, but I think that's, so one of, oh, and this is the other thing, my adhesive. So I have a pile of adhesive right here. Okay. My scissors are always here. My pile of adhesive is here. So the reason I wanted to show you guys all of this is because your setup is so important when you're doing a layout, okay? Whether you go to a crop, or whether you're at home, or it doesn't matter really where you are, the important thing is to have your setup in a relatively similar way everywhere you go. So for instance, when I'm at the store, even I will have my adhesive is right here. I will have my scissors right here. So everything is always in the same spot. Okay, I always have these little containers with me in front of me, or if I'm not using this pre-done ephemera, then I will have like little piles of cutouts that I've done. So, and I know I have a page to show you guys that as well. All right, so what I will do is I'm going to get set up and show you guys my desk so we can get started in that department. All right, so bear with me here. There we go. Get everything plugged in. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining us. I've got let me see if I can get caught up here as well. All right. How is everybody doing? I tell you, it's been a long day. It's been exciting though. Been waiting. I've had so many timers set up so that I could be here on time for you guys. Just got one message here I just need to reply to because I know that it's about today. So what you guys are looking at is actually a sketch. This, I love this sketch so much. And I couldn't wait to use it. All right. How am I for volume, guys? Can you hear me okay? Oops. My thing's moved. There we go. I think that's better. All right. So like I was saying, so now that I'm set up here on my table all over again, so this title here, this really cool page is one that I've been eyeballing for quite a while. This is that that book that I made myself a little while ago. So the I've been dying to do this sketch. Now I'm going to show you what I did with it. So, because I think there we go. I don't need those things right now. Okay, so this is a part of the Mexico book that I've been working on. And some of these are pages that I have been collecting, like I said, since 2017 to get it all. But this is actually the first time I have followed a sketch. Well, I shouldn't say the first time, but it's been a long time since I followed a sketch this exact in a really long time. Okay, so what I want to point out to you guys with this one is that they have a repeating pattern in these sketches. Okay, so this one here, 2 and 3. Okay, and it's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and what I randomly found this piece of green in the background here that I just was like, hey, this matches this paper really, really well. And I really wanted to use this background paper here as well. Like I knew that I had taken a picture of these conch shells as a light or as lights, and I knew that I wanted to pair it up with this paper. So when I came across this layout here, it was just kind of like, it was just meant to be. Okay. So while I was going through this sketch, okay, and while I was making the sketch, what I didn't realize until I was most of the way done it was that they also have these repeating pattern, if you will, here as well. Okay. And I was almost done the page when I was like, oh, well, I had better put something like that in it, because when you see that, when they weren't on the page, it was like there's something missing and I didn't know what. And that's when it dawned on me. Okay. So what I have done was I have actually got 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So I've done my best to mimic the pattern that's there. Okay, now I know that they're not very big, but you still see them when they're on the page, and that's the important thing. So I also made the title, and I made it, this is actually left over from one of my ephemera pieces. Okay, there's words that are here, and so I made sure to have words here. This part here, this is admit 1, albeit it is a admit 1 tag. I just grabbed a piece of yellow that matched throughout and added it. Now it says on here words, so what I did was I added these dots here instead. So you can also see here on these ones, on the circles, that they've got stitch marks. Now I do have the sewing machine here. Surprisingly enough, it's actually quite close to me at the moment, but I wasn't in the mood for stitching. So what I decided to do was to just take my black marker, because not everybody has a sewing machine, right? And I have been using these Archival Ink Microns. Now this one is 0.8, which is quite thin, but believe it or not, they actually come thinner. And the smallest I've ever seen was 0.1, which I believe is millimeters. I believe it is. So this is actually 0.8 millimeters. Very small. But it gives you that incredible detail that you can see with all of my stitch marks. Okay. All right, so that was that one. The other one that I wanted to point out to you guys with this one, So I'm gonna try, and actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna pull it out. Okay, so this is called a pocket page. If anybody's not seen one of those before, this is called a pocket page. So the cool thing about pocket pages is that it is you can make an album very quickly. You can put together an album very quickly. I mean, you can like finish a trip in what feels like no time at all. Like I've got, well, you saw the pile of pictures that I have left to do. There's not much left. But what is so cool is that, so this is a 4x6, and what I ended up doing was I made a miniature layout on a 4x6 card. This is called a Project Life card, okay? And it's, unfortunately, I misplaced the sketch that I used with this one. I'm really sorry, guys. But what they did have on it was this stitching around the sides, which I loved. They had a repeating pattern with all of the dots. Okay, now this is actually my photo that I cut down to size. And then this is actually another Project Life card that I've popped up on top of this really cool bracket card. Okay. And it was fun. Like I literally I took the little card and I was like, hey, I can turn this into a layout. And away we went. So, oops, hopefully I don't wreck it, putting it back in. All right, so that's those. Okay, so the other one, so these are, oh, that's a terrible photo, but that one's terrible too. So what I was going through were these are some colored photos that I had printed off, and let's go through that one last. And one of the things that always draws me to colored layouts like this is that I either love the colors or I love some of the shapes that are in it. And with this one, it's a little bit of both. So I love both the colors as well as the shapes that are in it. So this is this really cool blue, a yellow, and a green, a very, gumball or Kelly green. And this background here makes this young child seem like it's an older, grungier page. And there's so much texture to this page. That's what I also really love about it. So they've got some layers here with what probably is just a cutout, but you could, if you had metal, you could use it in the background. But what I found really cool about this one was that they have a lot of repeating patterns as well. So here is the picture and here's the picture, and they've matted the photo in the same pattern, okay, as the big one. Okay, there's actually this circle that matches this circle. Now this is cut out like a pinwheel or a flower, and it is repeated throughout. Okay, there's also a little tag that is there's a tag here and there's two tags here. Okay, they've also repeated, so there's circle, 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 circle. Okay, and it's a nice flow this way across the page. Okay, they've also reused, this pattern is also used here as well, all the way around the edge. So they've probably cut it in maybe only 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, but it pulls your eye towards it. Now, the other thing that I love about this layout, if I looked at it in black and white, okay, like as if I were to look at it like as if it was one of these sketches, okay, then you would notice that these are tags, okay, or these are pennants, depending on what you call them, okay. These could be black and white. These could be Christmas colors. These could be whatever you want them to be. They don't have to be a boy, okay. So This one here was another one that I really liked. And again, it's repeating patterns. So, I mean, the first thing that catches your eye with this is that it's all blues and browns, right? But it doesn't have to be all blues and browns. What you'll notice with this one is that this is a big floral pattern. So this is just a big pattern is what you need to look at it with this one. Okay. This brown that's in the background is a flat pattern. So there's no pattern to it. It's just straight up brown. Okay. The other thing to notice is that there's a something here and there's a something here. There's also these little butterflies. I'll move closer so hopefully you can see it. And so there's a little bird here, but it doesn't have to be a bird. It could be a star. You could make it an ornament. You could make it one of the ephemera packs. You could pull out something from there. This is another something here as well, which doesn't have to be a flower. You could make it, like if you're going with Christmas theme, since what feels like, well, we're getting ready for Christmas in July at the store. So you could have an ornament there or a star. You could have a stocking. And then this thing over here, as long as it's something big, right? It doesn't have to be flowers. It could be the Christmas tree, the whole Christmas tree. Okay. But what I loved about this pattern is that when I look at this, I see a double page layout, and I see a big circle, and I see a smaller square. And this actually goes straight across. And then there's two matted photos. Okay. And then there's something here. And there's another pattern around this photo here. Okay, so then there's another, so this is just the blue, right? So underneath it, there is a bigger section of colored paper. So there's actually two, so there's this one, okay? And then there's a blue again. And yeah, it's got the ruffled here, but that could be, it could be waves if I wanted to continue with my beach theme stuff, or it could be a row of ornaments, or it could be repeated down here. Like if you were doing a Mickey Mouse album, if you were a Disney, this would be really neat to have, instead of this wave pattern or the scalloped pattern, I mean, you could do Mickey hands, or you could do Mickey ears, you know, things like that. So like I said, though, this pattern here is, oh, you can also see, so there's a bigger box here, okay? So all I'm doing is just turning this color into black and white. So I'm taking out the main shapes. I'm looking for the big picture is what I'm doing. Now, I don't always draw it out like this, but sometimes it's a lot easier to see it when you transcribe it into black and white. And it doesn't have to be pretty. You can just, like, I wouldn't consider this a nice drawing, but it gets my eye to, oh yeah, there's that. And if I've got them side by side, then I can reference, well, what did they do? Okay, so here's something big. So this could be a palm tree. Since, you know, we can't travel right now, but we would love to. It could be fireworks. Okay. Now I happen to own a Cricut, so I mean, I could cut out a fireworks, or I could cut out a palm tree. No problem there. Like this could also be a giant key. I mean, you could just look around and see what it is that you've got. The title is here. Okay. And then this is a skinny and this is a large one. Now sometimes what I'll do is I will actually shade them so that I know, oh yeah, that's a different pattern than that one, but not always. Okay. So, and that's a double page layout. Now we're not doing a double page layout tonight. I want to show you guys a couple more double page layouts though, because it's simple enough to do, right? All right, so I wanted to point this one out just because there's a lot of ephemera on it, okay? It's a busier layout, but you got to take it apart. So there's something here and there's something here, okay? And your eye kind of wanders down this way across the page, okay? So keeping that in mind oh my goodness. There it is. There it is. All right. So this is the sketch that we're going to be doing tonight. So if you guys are following along or you want to follow along, you find now 1, 2 patterns, 3, 4 patterns, a solid, okay, and then some ephemera. Now, my title is actually going to be, is actually on the page already because I'm actually using the new COVID paper that we have in at the store is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to move this way and let's walk through this. All right. So here is the new COVID paper that we have in at the store. So I wanted to use this paper because 1, it's new to the store, and 2, I haven't used it yet. It comes with sticker pack and it comes with, oops, there we go. I know you can't see that, I'm sorry. So this is a laser cut piece. Oh, it is all one piece. It's already put together. Okay, but it's laser cut layered. And then these are actually stickers, as is these. And then these are all of the pages. So this all comes with the pack. And then at the store we have COVID cutouts in 3 sizes. There it is, in 3 sizes. Okay. So I'm going to use, I'm going to get those out of the way. I'm actually going to use this one here because I did take a couple of pictures of Emma my daughter, while she was being homeschooled. Now the cool thing about this is that it's actually white on the other side, so if you wanted to, you could very easily use that as your background. So if you guys are going to be following along, you're going to need 4 patterns, okay, and a solid. All right, so there's some of the cut aparts. So when I was talking about ephemeras earlier, how some packages come with it. Now these came with stickers that you could easily use as ephemera. You could cut this out and use it as ephemera as well. Okay, so the page that I'm looking for is actually got a big giant title on it. There it is, homeschool. And what All right, so I've got, okay, so there's my page. Now, I've kind of lucked out where, maybe I won't use this one. Apparently I forgot that it had the stripes already on the bottom. All right. Back to square B. All right, because I want to actually do this from scratch with you guys. So okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Here's my blank page. I'm going to cut out this one I'm going to cut out to 2 inches, and this one I'm going to cut out to 1 inch. And we'll go from there. Okay. So there's 1 and 2. Now the nice thing about having these printed out is that I can actually write on this 2 inches and 1 inch. I need 2 of those, and I need 2 of those. Make sure I got my words upside right. All right, there we go. There. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining us. So now we need these 2 patterns here. Okay, I have, oops. What else is on here? I don't mind the teal, but I like that blue better. Okay, so I'm gonna guess, of course, that, well, these are quite wide, okay, and they look like they're both the same width, and then this one is the smaller one, okay, so I'm gonna say that this one is probably 3 inches wide, and this one is probably closer to 2, okay. So we'll cut those out. These ones, 3 inches and 2 inches. Oops, I lost a piece. There it is. Okay, and you can also look at like that. So that's 12 inches long. That's clearly way too big, right? So we're going to cut that down drastically. Okay, so there's the 5 inches there. Okay, so I made it 5 inches, and I'm going to do the same with this one because you can see, oh, I bet you that one's 6 inches. go. All right, and I wanted to use red. All right, so one of my favorite tricks with these guys is that when doing this, when doing this pattern here, okay, if you take your scissors, find the middle of it, and you just, well, I always eyeball it, but up as high as you want the pennant to go, and then you just cut from the corner straight up to where you made your cut. Clearly it doesn't always work, but there. Okay, do the same on the other side. There. I'll do the same with this one. So the other way that I have been shown how to do is if you take it like so, okay, and put a little bend in it, that gives you your halfway, or at least it's supposed to. Okay, and this never seems to work out quite as well for me, but we'll give her a whirl because I'm gonna cut it the wrong way. See, just don't trust myself to do it that way. All right, but there's my halfway. That way you don't have to eyeball the halfway point. Hi, Bev. Thanks. There we go. Okay. And there's number 2. Okay, so I knew there would be some people joining us later, so I wrote down the measurements if you want to come follow along. And where is there it is. Okay, so you guys, I just noticed this. So inside of the plaid on this paper, there's little COVIDs inside of it. I tell you, this company is, they're quite something. Okay, so I'm making my 2-inch cut. There we go. And clearly way too big. Line up my edges again. There we go. So I'm just, I know, I'm eyeballing it, but then, there we go. Because we're just going to cut off that side anyway. Let's get some pennants on these guys. So has everybody been doing well during COVID for the most part, as well as can be expected? I know there was a lot of controversy over on one of my Facebook groups that, well, one of the many that I'm a part of anyway, about whether to document or not to document. It seems to be 50-50 by what people are deciding to do. But considering it lasted for as long as it did, it seemed kind of silly to not document it in some form or another, considering how incredibly far-fetched it's been, how it's impacted our life. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down because they keep flying away all over the place, and well, we already know where they're going to go. So the nice thing about using a single paper pack like this one is that they do all coordinate. They just, because they're all from the same paper pack, right? That's not always the case though, if you're, in case it doesn't, what if it doesn't match your picture, right? Well, or what if there's just one page in it that doesn't match? Well, what you can always do is just pull out the pages that you do like. Like for instance, I found this other page from, it's a line called Forward with Faith from Echo Park, and I'm going to be using it in the background here, and I might even use it in the star. It's this page here that I really want to use. Now, these are actually Bible pages, but they look enough like newspaper to me that I know, with it being just a little bit, your first glance onto a COVID layout, that's exactly what you're going to think it is, which is the point. All right, I need to tidy up a little bit. I got little bits and pieces all over the place. Okay, so knowing those are going to go there, I'm going to quick glue these down. You're not documenting anything at all, Bev? Nothing? I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely got some, I've got an album of photos on my phone already. There's one. There we go. Okay, so I've got these guys all ready to go as well. Now these I'm just going to, sometimes what I'll do, and this time is no exception, I'm just going to put a little tab down in the middle, just enough to hold it in place, but not enough to, I just did those on the wrong side, fantastic. Not enough to super glue it down, but enough to hold it in place so it doesn't run all over the world. There we go. Okay, because I don't want them running away while I'm trying to figure out where everybody's supposed to be laid out. Okay, there we go. I could have made that a lot longer. That's okay. Okay. next, so this photo here, by the looks of it, is a 4x4 photo. Now, I have some scrap paper around here somewhere that I'm just going to do a mock-up. Because I don't have the photos yet, but I would like to know where my photo is going to go. So it's going to go right around in here. Okay. Now I really like this teal, and I love this documented paper here. Okay. On the other side. All right, so with this, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do this star, okay? Now, I'm not going to make it a star. I'm actually going to make it a circle. There's lots of tools that you can use to make circles. There are... And of course, I can't seem to find what I did with mine, and I just had it. That's unfortunate. So I'm going to improvise and use one of my many bowls that are sitting around my table. There we go. All right, well, now we do have at the store actual circle cutters. So, and of course, well, it's at the store, not here. And they're quite handy. Actually, Bev, I think you've got one, don't you? Now, I'm not nearly as worried about this side just because I know it's going to be tucked in. So, but I want to show you that it doesn't have to be a star. It just has to be a shape. Now, I absolutely love these scissors from Ranger. They're really good for people like myself who have the early on stages of arthritis in our hands, because they actually don't have metal inside the handles. All right. Actually, I like that. Nice. All right, let's slide that back under there so we don't lose it. Okay, now there we go. Nope, I'm gonna make my circle a little bit smaller because I don't like the way it's not showing enough of. There we go. There, that's better. Okay. So those are the main parts of this page. Okay, now you can see throughout it that there's a whole lot of littler. Oh, Bev, I just wondered if you had I knew you had a circle cutter. So those are the main things to the page, okay? Like the big parts to the page. right? It doesn't seem like there's much to it. And like it seems really busy when you're first looking at the page until you actually start to take it apart. Okay. So what we start to do next then is to decorate it, if you will. Okay. So they've got some a title down here. The title is up here. They've got the words, the journaling, if you will, down here. And there's a line of wooden embellishments here. Now, this is where I'm actually going to change my mind again, you guys, because you ever forget that you have something? Because I totally forgot that I had these things, and this is why I have them. Because I wanted to use them for this circle right here. Okay. There we go. I totally forgot that I even had that. So one of the nice things about this pack is that it comes with the stickers. Okay. So these Living That Quarantine Life is certainly big enough I could stick it down here. Okay. The Empty Shelves Homeschool Travel Ban, like all of these things could be stuck in here. Okay. The In the News Quarantine, again, here, stick in here. Okay. But what I actually want to do is I want to have something small and tiny, and there's actually nothing small and really tiny in here. But what I can do is these guys here. Okay, so see here they have a camera, okay, and I'm going to use the other COVID, but I want to pop dot it. So I'm using flour this time around, and I'm actually de-stickifying the back of it is what I'm doing. And then I flick it around. And pop dot. This is a new roll of foam tape from Sizzix. There's 5 yards on that roll. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Okay. And then they've got some buttons, and oh yeah, I was going to use this one. Okay, so anybody remember how big the cards are from the library? I know they're smaller than a 4x6, that's for sure. So what I did was I just cut out the page as it was, but I have a funny feeling that I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to cut this down a lot more because I want it to be up here somewhere around this mark and this mark. Okay. So this makes it 4 by 2 3/4. 4 by 2 3/4. Okay. And it will fit right in there. Okay. Now, they've also got this ripped tag here that I really, really like. Now, I can see, I don't know how well you guys can, but there is, let's see if we can refocus here. So there's actually a little tag here, and there is a little tag here. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make this from this red crossed paper is what I'm going to do. Whatever I did with it. There it is. Okay. So this stuff here, because I want it to match with this. Because I love to rip paper. Okay, that is going to stick in there. See, this is my favorite part about working with these sketches, is that you can do as much or as little with this sketch as you want to. And it really, it doesn't matter. Like if you want to do, if you want to copy it exactly the way it is on the page, then you could copy it exactly the way it is on the page. If you don't, then you don't. You don't have to. There we go. All right. Now you can see how this is so small here, okay? And look at how much further it's stuck out here. Okay, so I actually would really like to see more of this. So I'll kind of show you guys a hack, because I'm not about to cut this page out again. But what I can do is I can cut it in half. So now I can make this as big as I want it to be. And as long as I line it up right, you'd never know. There. And I could easily do the same with this one, but this one I'm kind of okay with. Come on. There we go. There. There. Now, I was debating on using the homeschool that's on the other page, this page over here. So the challenge though is that you can see how big it is compared to the page, right? And I could cut that out and I could fit it on there, but I actually want the title to just fit across here is what I would like it to do. So before I start losing stuff off of my page, I'm actually going to start gluing stuff down. So one of my favorite things to do is I will actually put my hand down in the middle of it. And I will just lift a corner and I will apply adhesive, and that way it does not go anywhere. Okay. Now, as the final touches, I'm going to use something that I never get to use very often because I'm usually so worried about something moving or going missing or getting stepped on is this fantastic product called Nuvo Drops. I love using it. I just never get to use it nearly enough. There we go. Oops. There. Now I have decided that I'm going to pop dot my photo. So I've got my foam tape and I'm sticking it down. I'm actually going to use this white 4x4 as my frame for the photo when I get it printed as well. There we go. So there's that. So is it hot enough out today for you guys? Somebody was saying it was 40 plus degrees out there. Did so this is the product here called Nuvo Drops. Okay, it's like, oh, what's the word? It's like enamel dots is what it is. And I learned about this really neat trick, if you can even call it a trick, that what you could do with it here, because it's the nice thing, the thing that sets Nuvo Drops apart is that one, it's self-leveling, and two, it's absolutely beautiful. So thanks, Heather. I love the red too. So this is Crystal Drops, okay, and they have this really neat tip in it that's supposed to prevent it from going dry, and is supposed to also prevent it from separating, because if anybody's familiar with stickles, after a while they would eventually separate, and you'd have to like spend 20 minutes shaking it before it would actually remix. So this color is called Ebony Black, and I love it because it's, I know you can't see it very well on the camera, but this is actually a charcoal black. It's not a true black. Okay, it's got a little bit of a pattern to the back of it. This is a black. The words are a black. In this, there's a few splatterings of black in this one as well, but I loved it because with red and black just go so well together. Okay, but with the Nuvo Drops, you give it a little bit of a squeeze and see how it filled that tube, if you will, the neck of it. Now when you put it down, you can make these enamel dots as big or as little as you want. Okay, and then before you lift it straight up, you actually go like, you give it a little bit of a twirl, and then it will eventually self-level. Okay, now I'm going to make a whole bunch of these because I don't use my Nuvo Drops nearly enough, and I want to use them more. Okay, so I'm going to try to follow this pattern here is actually what I'm going to try and do, and I just give it a squeeze as big as I want it to be, and then gently lift a little bit and then make a little swirl off. Okay, is all I'm doing. Now this will work for your stickles as well. So if you do have them, like the rest, we all have stickles. I know we do. Okay, then you can just keep that in mind when you're using it, so that if you can get that nice raised look to it. Now I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but they've already started to level, which is kind of cool. Oops, that's not straight. There we go. Now they've got, actually I didn't realize they had string on here too. That's actually a really good idea. I have string here. I got lots. It'd be neat if I had something almost sterile though. There we go. Yeah, black would be better. Might have to play with that afterwards. I usually have string all over the place. All right. Let's do they've got a random dot way out here, and there's another little one here and here. And then actually this is really neat. See how they've got the teal and the black, and the teal and the black is what they've done there. If I had some red stickles or some red Nuvo, it would be a great way to draw the red right through the page. Although I don't know if I need to worry about that. There's a lot of red on this page. Oh, I did just notice though, they've got a really neat pattern here along the bottom, which I might pull some teal out of that page. Where's that? Yes, I think I will do that. So I'm going to put a couple more Nuvo drops down. One here, another one here. Cool thing about the Nuvo is that the more you squeeze it, the bigger you can make your dots. So you can have little dots or you can have big dots. There. Okay, so I'm going to leave those for now and always recap as soon as you're done. And then they've got this really neat pattern here that I'm going to see if I can replicate. And what you need for that is a piece of paper that's, I believe it's a 1/2 inch wide is what you need. Nope, 3/4 of an inch, guys. Sorry, I led you astray. So this piece here is what I'm gonna do. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's this really neat, it's a teal is what it is. And what they've done is they've made this winged pattern. Okay, so you've got a zigzag, and then you're gonna go the other way to make a zigzag. It doesn't have to be straight, it doesn't have to be neat. In fact, sometimes the less neat it is, the better it looks when you're all done. So the other way is you can go like this and then fold it back is another way to do it. I tend to just do both folds all at once, to be perfectly honest. It's a ruffle pattern, I believe, is what it's called if you're sewing. So we'll just zigzag our way across this piece of paper and see how big it is. Oh, I like that a lot. It's funny how when you're going across Pinterest, or you're going through Pinterest, I mean, and you come across these things and you're like, oh, I really like that. Well, what is it about it that you really, really like? Is it, you know, this ruffle pattern? Is it the chevrons? Is it the pattern? Is it the color? Is it, what is it about it that drew your eye to it? Yeah, I love that. That's so cute. All right, I'm going to glue that down right there. And in this case, I'm going to actually use my wet glue because I'm afraid it's going to move. And I need some wiggling room time. So the nice thing about wet glue is that you've got a little bit of wiggle room time. All right, guys, I think we're almost done. I know I don't have a title on here yet, but we know it's going to be homeschool. It'll take a couple of, well, I usually leave these things overnight, although I do have a drying tool now so that I could speed along the drying time on them. But I know it's quite simple, but I'm actually really liking it. And sometimes you just gotta stop and say, you know what? I think I'm good with that. So what have we done? We've taken this and we've taken it and we've turned it into a sketch so that we can transcribe it into the paper that we have and the paper that we want to use. So we've got the stripes down on the bottom and the stripes across the top, matching pattern. We've got the chevron pattern or the tags throughout it. Okay, now we've got something that's very large right here, which I used the COVID cutout for. Okay, we've got the camera here that I've used another COVID sticker that I actually popped. This tag here became our newspaper print. The repeat, I've got some red here and some red here, which is this cutout tag and this little tag here. And then I've got this little teal ruffle, if you will, that's here as well. And of course, we've got all of the enamel dots that are made from Nuvo crystal dots across it as well. Now I'll probably end up putting some journaling down in here in this corner because I think it'll balance it nicely. Okay. As well, the title will definitely go across the top, and I will probably go across here as well with that. Okay, but I want to wait for the Nuvos to dry before I put any of that stuff on it. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. A little bit after 9 o'clock, not too bad. On January 17th, what month are we in? July 17th, we've got our art group meeting. We have them coming. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. It starts at 6:30 at night, and it usually runs until about 8:30 or 9:30. We have coffee, tea, juice, and water, of course, on our coffee bar. It is $11.30, which is $10 plus tax. If you care to join us, you can register on our website at thescrapbookshop.ca, which is now live and running. You are more than welcome to shop the website any time of day or night. We've got our Christmas in July coming up. We are actually sold out for it, which is fantastic. I was thrilled that we were even able to do it, which was great. So thank you to everybody who is... Oh, we've also got our contest going on. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I almost forgot. We have a like, share, and tag contest going on right now until we hit 500 likes. Last time I checked, we were at 460 is when I last checked. We've got a $25 gift certificate up for grabs. So every time that you share the post, every time that you tag somebody on it, and make sure that you like our page as well, your name will be entered into the draw. And like I said, that will be done whenever we hit 500. I hope everybody is having a great day. I hope everybody had a great long weekend. And have yourselves a great night, you guys. We'll see you next time.